Namaste. I am with Dr. Lina Thakar. I am an Ayurveda practitioner and healer based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Today I would like to discuss in detail about oil pulling. Suddenly there is a lot of buzz going around about this technique, which is originated in Ayurvedic medicine, which is the ancient technique where you take a mouthful of medium, whether it's oil or it's ghee, and then you squish it and then you spit it out, and this technique is called oil pulling, or Ayurvedic way it is called Gandusha Kevala. Yesterday, which is May 21st, 2014, KDK CBC had this feature on their news at 5, where they ran a feature about oil pulling, and also they featured part of that program, me talking about oil pulling. So I would like to give, and suddenly there are lots of questions, there are lots of emails, and there are lots of inquiries about this technique, the risk, the benefit. So I decided to develop a clip on this so I can give you a complete comprehensive understanding about oil pulling. As I practice Ayurveda, which is 5.5 years or 6 years of my training, and then 20 years of my Ayurveda practice, along with the Ayurveda tradition in the family, I have been using these techniques many years now. And also, my niche is not about practicing Ayurvedic medicine or wellness, but my niche about also explaining the science and logic behind these techniques, behind this wisdom, and hence I decided to create this clip today that we will discuss all aspects of oil pulling. There are two things when we discuss oil pulling: the science, the logic behind this technique, and the second is benefits of oil pulling and risk associated with that. Many times it happens that one technique or one program or one even herb gives you some benefit, and suddenly it goes viral and everyone starts talking about that and everyone talks using that. But Ayurveda is a very personalized individual wellness program, and hence it is very important to understand a detailed regimen mentioned, risk associated with that, when a particular technique, a herb, a lifestyle regimen is recommended according to Ayurvedic science, so that one doesn't blame the science when one doesn't have the complete understanding of it and then follow some regimen which can get some negative side effects or challenges. As Ayurveda healer, it is very important responsibility for a Ayurveda Vaidya to explain the science, to explain the benefits, the right technique, and also caution the risk associated with that, and specifically also to individualize whom oil pulling is recommended. And hence Ayurveda is profound personal wellness regimen. Continuing our dialogue now about the science and logic of oil pulling, at the same time benefits of oil pulling, I would first discuss the benefits of oil pulling, then I'll explain the logic and science behind it. When we talk about benefits or risk associated for oil pulling or Gandusha or Kevala, there are three aspects. One aspect, when you put oil in mouth, what are the oral effects and what are the risks associated with oral squishing the oil. The second part is, does it have more than oral benefits? And the third is, does it have a benefit on overall health? So the first is the technique itself. Classic Ayurveda texts talk about taking small amount, which can be 1 to 3 teaspoon, and 3 teaspoon means 1 tablespoon of oil. Sesame oil is recommended highly to be taken in the mouth, and then you squish that oil. Do not swallow it, and then spit it out after 10 to 15 minutes. When oil is taken in the mouth more than that, when you cannot have the space to squish, it is called gandusha. But when the oil is like 1 to 3 teaspoon, where you have the space now to squish it, it is called as kevala. So that is the difference. Kevala is where you take a small amount of oil and you squish it. You have space to squish it in the mouth. And gandusha is the so much oil that you take in the mouth that you don't have the space to squish it, but you just hold the oil and then spit it out. So this is the difference. Now oil. Let's even discuss why oil is recommended before even we discuss whether it's sesame oil or coconut oil. Oil is important medium in Ayurveda. First of all, it is absolutely helpful to pacify the Vata energy. In Ayurveda, there are 3 doshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. These are the energy that balance our physio-psychological functions, where Vata dosha is the governing dosha, which is also related to our neural communication and movement in the body. So when you put, because Vata is dry and cold and light, exactly opposite, oil is warm, and typically oil is recommended as you put a oil in a warm water, so it is little lukewarm. Cold oil is not recommended in Ayurveda because again, to pacify Vata, it should be lukewarm. The second is oil is anxious, so it fights the dryness of Vata, and oil is grounding. But at the same time, in oral area where you squish the mouth, squish the oil in the mouth, oil helps to pacify the air, Vata energy. So it is important. And second important thing is gum is a muscle. So to oil the gum will increase the longevity of that muscle. The second important benefit of oil is in Ayurvedic technique or Ayurvedic philosophy, and now it is also proved by Western medicine or modern concepts, that oils pull out the fat soluble toxins. In our body we have water soluble toxins and also fat soluble toxins. So fat soluble toxins in our oral area, actually when you provide oil from outside, the fat outside, body tries to send or release the internal fat toxins, which can be in a mouth itself and which can be overall in the body through plasma, through blood, with small delicate oral mucosa. Because one put oil, it starts attracting or extracting the overall toxins in the body. Yes, there are not clinical researches on that, and that is why it is needed that one puts some focus, attention and funds for these kinds of researches. But oil does have the effect of pulling toxins, and that is exactly the principle in Panchakarma cleansing treatment in Ayurveda, where you put oils on the body, on the skin. That oil ingested by the skin start pulling out the toxins through the body, which are fat soluble toxins. Hence there are 2 aspects. One is to pacify Vata energy, oleate gums for longevity, and third is to pull out oral toxins, but also through delicate oral mucosa pull out toxins from plasma and blood. And hence oil is recommended. Now moving to second aspect is which oil is good, and Ayurvedic text explains sesame oil because sesame is the remedy for Vata energy. So sesame oil is recommended, that one takes 1 to 3 teaspoons of organic sesame oil and squish it in the mouth for 10 to 15 minutes and then spit it out. Now sesame oil does have heating effects, and hence when person have any mouth ulceration, stomatitis, inflammation, their coconut oil is recommended. And ghee, which is clarified butter, is also recommended when you are asking a child, which can be 8 to 10 years older. If you're asking a child to do the squish, then ghee can be a safer medium, which is a clarified butter. Now interestingly, sesame and coconut both is rich in calcium. Oil pullings significantly improve oral health, significantly strengthen gums, as I explained to you, oil oleates muscles, but also it improves teeth health. And the reason behind that maybe is the calcium, which is a rich source in sesame seeds and also coconut itself. Ayurvedic science explains teeth or tooth are the byproduct of bone tissue, osseous tissue, and hence once you put coconut or sesame oil, again I repeat, sesame oil is a better medium, then you actually are having rich source of calcium, which can be itself as a logic of improving teeth health. So in overall, by sesame oil as a main medium, but if you have any ulceration, mouth allergies, or even any inflammation condition, then coconut oil and ghee is recommended. When we squish this oil through oral mucosa, it pulls out toxins, it improves health of gums, strengthen the gums, and it also helps improve teeth health. This oil that put it in the mouth, another important observation, oil is the medium which is difficult to ingest any virus or bacteria. And again, one can put researches on this, but this is been studied, and oil is the only medium which is very difficult to have any bacteria or virus ingested. Hence, oil can be an excellent medium to fight infections, and hence if you daily squish sesame oil or coconut oil through your mouth, you are actually creating a film of oil in your oral area where then bacteria and virus cannot enter. Because we are so much exposed to processed foods, chemicals, and now in modern world people ingest so much junk food, they call it fast food, there can be challenges. One can get exposed to foodborne diseases. At the same time, there can be viruses and bacteria that can be penetrating in your oral mucosa, and that can create health challenges. And hence, oil is the best medium to fight infections. So you are preventing infections. So I think I have covered most of the benefits why what oil is helping for, and I will also explain some of the benefits of oil when I explain specific benefits. So sesame oil, coconut oil, and sometimes ghee when you have sensitive area in the oral mucosa, then one can use clarified butter. So I repeat, general use will be sesame oil. If you have any challenges in terms of inflammation, stomatitis, ulceration, coconut oil is used. And then when you have delicate sensitive gums or teeth, ulcerations, or for kids over say about 10 or 12 years, they can use ghee clarified butter. One important thing is definitely one should not ingest this oil because of first of all it's pulling out toxins, and that is why this is the oil that has toxins. One has to definitely make sure it is spilled out of the mouth. This is oil pulling. The second important aspect, what are the benefits and what are the risks associated with that? Risk, I already mentioned that it is very personalized regimen, so you should take care about contacting an Ayurvedic healer, know exactly what is your dosha, what is your health status, and then you can work on this wonderful technique. And second thing is to not ingest it, and that are the only cautions you have to take. The third aspect is what are the benefits. The first benefit itself is regarding improving your oral hygiene, as it fights infection, as it pulls out toxins, as it strengthens the gums, strengthens the teeth. Itself is a wonderful technique for improving oral health. Rich source of calcium by sesame oil and coconut oil that can improve teeth health. Try to take it lukewarm, just put oil bottle in a warm water for a few minutes. That will be helpful, so you don't have sensitive gums if you have cold oil in your mouth. And then another good thing about this technique is that it fights odor itself because it fights infection and you have fresh breath. Beautiful another benefit is because you can understand how much movement our upper portion of this mandible does, because we talk all the time, we eat all the time, we chew all the time, so we are continuously going. So that's a lot of vata movement. So when you put warm oil in the morning, lukewarm oil in the morning, it's pacifying and oleating all these joints, and hence you can reduce your TMJ syndrome. Now moving from only oral health, let's see what are the other benefits. Oil pulling or Gandusha Kevala is very helpful and beneficial for all challenges, imbalances, which we call Urdhva Jatrugat, means above the shoulder, and Jatru means actually the thyroid. So if you see all the above imbalances, which is sinus and nasal area, allergies, ear problems, these are, and also better perception of vision. Now the question comes, what is the science behind this? Why one has a better one has the benefits with ear, nose and vision areas? Again, Vata dosha prana, which is the present in head cavity, and every area which is ear, nose, where there is a cavity, there is air, Vata. Secondly, Vata being neural communication, when we do lukewarm oil pulling, it oleates all the ear cavity, nasal cavity, and hence at the same time it also actually provide help to nerves, and hence there is a better perception of sound, better perception of smell and better vision. As it oleates the sinus mucosa or through eustachian tube ear mucosa, it will fight infection. It may fight infection, and also it is providing oleation to nerves, and hence there is a better perception of this we call Vishaya, which is sound, smell and vision. The next benefit is itself is to brain. As brain tissue is all lipids, and what Ayurveda says, first of all, oil pacifies head cavity vata, prana, but at the same time it pulls out mainly the toxins through brain area, and hence it improves clarity. Obviously one has to do this for few weeks, few months. Suddenly one doesn't get overnight benefits, but I am just trying to explain the science and logic behind it. And hence this technique helps for ear imbalances, nose imbalances, vision imbalances, and also head cavity imbalances, confusion, even depression, clarity. One needs to get clarity, indecisiveness. And that is why, again, are there any researches on this? There are doctors like Dr. Oz, especially Dr. John Douillard, who highly speaks about oil pulling, and Dr. John Douillard mentions in his clip that there are studies done, especially oil pulling and benefits for ear, nose, and eye area, and also head cavity area or brain related benefits. There are not many researches done for the overall health of the body, but yes, there are documentation about the imbalances that may be healed or reduced. We call it above the shoulder imbalances. So you definitely try to look into those videos. I will be putting those links in this clip down here, which will be for Dr. Oz showing oil pulling, and Dr. John Douillard showing oil pulling and its benefits, talking about its benefits. So I covered about what is this technique, what are the oils used, and I also covered the benefit of oral area. I covered the benefits of Urdhva Jatrugat, ear related, nose related, eye related, and head cavity related or brain related imbalances may be benefited, may be reduced, and somewhere may be prevented by oil pulling Gandusha Kevala. Now the third aspect is whether it has effect on overall health. As I explained to you, when we do oil pulling or put the oil in the mouth for some time, it also, with squishing, it relaxes your muscles. It can be itself is a stress management tool. Another thing, because of the oil being in this area, it also gets exposed to the area of throat, and it can help oleating throat and heal and pull out the toxins. It also helps to relax the shoulders and neck, so neck and shoulder stiffness is reduced. And the overall health, since it pulls out the toxins through oral mucosa, there can be or there may be reduced chronic conditions. One can use this technique for some days. One can put some research, clinical research on this, and see whether there is a definite results for chronic condition. First of all, when you prevent infection in the mouth, when you improve your oral hygiene, you are already using a preventive measure for not having ingested bacteria and viruses. You are improving your immune system, and that is why itself can help you prevent future chronic conditions. But for existing chronic conditions, if you do this technique where oil is said to be pulling out the toxins, one can observe whether it helps to reduce the chronic condition with help of doctors. And one can put some researches on that also. But yes, there are not clinical researches on the oil pulling and overall health of the body. So I think I covered almost everything about oil pulling. The only risk is putting the oil, sesame oil, like heating oil, and you have ulceration and inflammation, and then that can irritate and aggravate the problems. So try to seek help of Ayurvedic healer. Be aware about the variations and where one can use coconut oil and ghee. Do not ingest this oil. Make sure you spill this oil out, which can have toxins. But with understanding the science, the logic, the risk associated with that, taking help of Ayurvedic healer, and if you have chronic conditions and you are doing this technique, take help of your doctor and observe your health status so that you can come to some conclusion about the effect on that for overall health. And this way it can be wonderful, profound, safe and beneficial technique which is called oil pulling Gandusha. So I hope I cleared many doubts here. I hope I cleared the science and logic. I hope I cleared the variations, the risk associated with that, the caution one needs to take, and I hope I cleared the benefits of oil for oral health and hygiene, for imbalances which are above the throat, ear, nose, eyes, mainly the benefit for brain, and some stress management, neck and shoulder stiffness, all those benefits. And definitely by pulling out toxin, if this technique can be helped to reduce medical condition, one can do this technique and follow up with their doctors and observe the benefits of oil pulling. So this is a comprehensive clip on this technique, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to email me, which is info@ayupgh.com, info@ayupgh.com. Namaste.